Hello guys, the Duke here. I'm going to be doing a Battlefield 4 tutorial on how to be a better jet pilot. Now, I'm going to first review over what the jets can do. Now, going to the vehicles, scrolling over to the jets, I'm going to start out with the stealth jet. You're normally going to start out with your 20mm cannon. This thing is only capable of taking out light armor such as jeeps and other aircraft. It can't damage tanks, it's just not that powerful. Then we go to the 25mm cannon, which is a more powerful cannon. It can damage tanks now. It does hardly any damage to them though, but I think it's pretty good. This is what I used for a long time until I unlocked the 30mm cannon, which I'm pretty sure is what the if I scroll over to the attack jets have, which I will get to a little later. Now, the stealth jets, their primary purpose is taking out air targets, not, ground targets. So that's why they don't have the things really for taking out ground targets. So going on to the secondary weapon, we have heat seekers, which are essentially, you lock on and you fire, and if flares, the person deploys flares, then they're essentially useless. Passive radar, if the person deploys ECM jammer, I think what they'll do is they'll just, go out of whack, and if you re-lock onto the target, I think they'll lock onto it again. Laser guided missiles, anti-tank missiles, you have to lock onto it and keep the lock, and then the missile will hit them unless they deploy flares. These rockets are very irritating. You essentially fire them and they'll search for targets. Now, you have to fire them pretty close to the air target, or they'll just, go in a straight line. But they're very, very powerful. Next, your countermeasures doesn't really matter. I prefer IR flares. Some people prefer ECM jammer. I do not really recommend fire extinguisher. I just, it doesn't really do much of a good thing, especially if you're in a critical state. Of course, it'll put out the fire, but it'll only heal you about 10%. Your upgrade, I use gyro stabilizer. The reason I use that is because whenever I get hit by a rocket, of course, it helps you stabilize, and having these other things don't seem to help me that much. Paint doesn't really matter what you want, and just showing you off how the jet is. This is what the 30mm cannon is like. You can see how slow it shoots. Looks like they add some more UAVs onto the training area. And also some tactics to use is, say, this works for the attack jets and the stealth jets, is say a jet's on your butt, you're trying to get rid of him. What you need to do is head over to your main base and essentially just fly right over it. And this will get people off your tail, partially because now that the AA will shoot at them, they have to be really careful about it. Then going on, I'm going to show off the attack jets. So let's just get the jet into the water and go to the attack jets. Now, the attack jets, of course, their main purpose is taking out ground vehicles. I think they're actually very good for taking out air vehicles as well, especially like helicopters, attack helicopters. Now, you can't change your cannon. All you get is the 30mm GAU cannon. It's very, very good for taking out heavily armored targets and helicopters and occasionally jets. Your secondary weapon is going to start off as the laser guided missile. It's essentially the same thing that the stealth jets can have. The heat seekers are essentially the same thing that the stealth jets can have too. Hydro rockets are just 8 rockets that you fire. They're not guided at all. I don't find them too useful. TV guided missile, this one is pretty cool. I'm actually just going to show you it right now. Say you're flying, what you do is just fire it, and you can see I can guide it, and I have no idea what happened then. I guess I either hit a UAV or maybe even hit the water. Let me wait till it spawns. Let me try that again. I don't know exactly what happened. The only thing about it is when you push or actually you switch to the guided missile to fire it, then your jet's engine will slow down. And I'm not sure why I keep on blowing up, but let's go back to the attack jets. Now, the third thing you get is the JDAM bomb, which is a dumbfire bomb. Essentially, you decide, I'll show this off right here. Essentially what you do is that you got this little panel right here, and say I'm gonna try to hit this Jeep on the edge. Because you get 2 of these. It's kind of hard to guide. Let me try hitting a armor target, like right there. And I'm gonna fly down. You should be able to see them impact. You can see them flying right there. Let's see if they impact where I want. No, they don't. But these are what I use most of all. They're very, very powerful, although I don't really get too many kills with them. And I'm going to show you some tactics to use with the attack jet. Now, when you're going to be engaging like a tank, say, or an AA, you want to go like this. You can see in this footage right here. And I destroyed that vehicle. And here's another shot. Pretty cool. Now keep in mind this is very dangerous, and as in this footage shows me shooting a jet out of the air. So you gotta be careful about doing this. You need to kind of approach them from like the backside, and you can get maximum effect so they can. When you first do these flying maneuvers, you're probably going to crash a lot, so you might want to go into the training area to get better at it. Going back to my footage, you see the attack jets, the countermeasure doesn't really matter. I use stealth coating partially because their anti-air locks onto me a lot, and other jets lock onto me a lot. And it's really, really irritating. Kind of squeaked there. Now going to the stealth jets again, some things you're going to want to use when you attack. Now going back to the stealth jets, I'm in the F-35. I think this is a pretty good jet fighter. It's not really the best. I would think the Su-50, which is the Russian stealth jet, is the best, partially because it has a superior turning capability than any of the other jets. Although the F-35 can hover, I would much rather prefer the Su-50. The thing I don't like about the Chinese jet is that it has a really wide wingspan, allowing AA's anti-air to shoot at it very easily. Now, the best attack jet, I think that have to go to the Chinese one or the Russian one. The A-10 seems to have more of a weaker cannon, and the Frogfoot, which is the Russian one. Something cool about it seems like when you fire, like from the outside view, which is what a lot of pilots do, the cannons go upward a little bit. So it actually works out if you're trying to engage a target, even if he's out turning you and say he's going up, you can just engage him, and that works out very well. Now, keep in mind when you're the attack jets, they're a lot more vulnerable, partially because they're not as fast, they're bigger and slower, more sluggish, but overall they can do a ton of damage to targets. I know this tutorial was a bit boring. I hope it will help you become a better jet pilot, and yeah, hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Thank you for watching this. This is the Duke signing